So Joe Hendry and the Rascalz made surprise returns to NXT TV this week, leading to a significant ratings jump. Viewership increased from 542, now that was a holiday week, but still, to 656K. And NXT beat AEW Dynamite in the 18 to 49 demo, 0.24 to 0.23, which is a pretty big deal for them. And of course, all the Joe Hendry videos that have been released are doing monster numbers. The Rascalz videos are doing monster numbers. The collaboration is completely working. It is wild. NXT fans love having TNA stars on their show, which is a complete difference from when AEW and TNA were in partnership, where the AEW audience just kind of shit on anything TNA related on their show. So I think the NXT and TNA audience collaborating is a better collaboration for that, because both sides are happy, both sides like it, right? And then you saw on TNA this week, Charlie Dempsey, when he came out, he got the big NXT chance, and he's a heel, right? And then you saw Izzy Dame come out, and she wrestled Jordan. And you know what? I made the joke, Izzy Lame. I made that. Her name just rhymes with lame, and I thought it was funny. I actually thought she looked kind of good. That was the first time I had ever seen her. I didn't know she was a real person until she wrestled Jordan, but I thought she looked pretty good. A swig of coffee for Izzy Dame. But now you got coming up, the Rascalz are going to be in a trios match. Trey Miguel, Zach Wentz, and Wesley. They're going to be a trios match against Gallus, and they're going to be called the Rascalz. And when the Rascalz showed up on NXT this week, they had the TNA graphics. They were announced as being from TNA, and they acknowledged the fact that Zachary Wentz, who was, I think, Nash Carter, dumb name, but when he was there, he was the MSK with Wesley, and so it's a full blown collaboration. And then also, I think Tavion, Joe, correct me, but it's Tavion Heights is his name, with the No Quarter Cash Crew. So next week on TNA, No Quarter Cash Crew, it's going to be Dempsey, some other large white guy, and then Tavion Heights. They're going to be on NXT next week, facing the Rascalz and Kushida, who was also in NXT at one point in time. So they're going to do another trios match. So the collaboration is full blown. And they got their foot on the gas here. I fully believe the No Quarter Cash Crew is going to be at Slammiversary. Would not shock me to see other WWE talents there. But that collaboration isn't the only collaboration for NXT, because NXT, it was just announced on NOAH for their big N-1 tournament. It's similar to the G1. They do the same thing. They're sending over talents to go be in that tournament, and I think that's a perfect idea. I think that's exactly what NXT should be doing. They should be working with international partners and sending their young talent over to go in these tournaments, these grueling and gruesome and grinding. There's a lot of G words, but these long tournaments where you're doing 10 matches, and it's not just 10 matches, it's 10 matches that really pull it out of you. And they're sending Tavion Heights over there. And Joe, who was the other guy that they're, so hold on. And Joe's fact checking me in real time. Said, okay, Miles Bourne is the other white guy. Says Miles Bourne could hear you, he'd be pissed. You couldn't remember his name. Sorry. I just watched the segment again last night just to make sure. But Tavion Heights and another guy from NXT is going over to Japan to work the N-1. I think that's great. Oh, and Josh Briggs is heading over there too. And I think, they're going to send Heights and Briggs over to N-1, and both of those guys are going to come back, and they're going to be better wrestlers afterwards because of being in that tournament. 100%. That's exactly what NXT should be doing. They should be farming their young talent out there and getting them experience. If they believe in their talent, they should be sending them out there to get that kind of experience, because they will be better talents for it. They're going to come back being a lot better wrestlers than before they left. 100%. That's exactly what NXT should be, and that's what it should have been this whole time. But they just couldn't. They couldn't get out of their own way. They had Vince was in charge, and they had the Vince brain, and Vince didn't want to do all that stuff. But now it's a legitimate farm system, They sent them over for the N-1 tournament. I would hope that they would send some people over for Tag League later this year. And they should absolutely send somebody to AAA just to work Mexico for a while. I mean, they and go on excursion, and they should send somebody to go like, hey, look, we believe in you. I think we're going to send you over. We need to send you over to NOAH for 6 months, right? Just like, hey, you know what? We'll send you to NOAH for 6 months. And you gymnast, we're going to send you to Marigold for 6 months. And then, hey, other gymnast / volleyball player, we're going to send you over to Europe, and you're going to work, all the European, WXW and ICW, and we're going to send you over there for a while. I think that's going to, and then they should send people to TNA. They should send people to TNA on an excursion, because you can go to TNA, you can work on a character, you'll learn how to work in front of different crowds and tour around and do all that stuff. I think that NXT is finally reaching what they should have been the entire time. Now, because it's WWE, you have the fear of them being predatory in nature, which is what happened with NXT UK. And now they're talking about opening up a performance center in Mexico. Well, we saw how well that worked out in the UK. Pandemic had a lot to do with that shutting down, but still it didn't work out. So I do think that you have to worry about them kind of getting their hooks in you and then eventually just taking you over. But I think because of the MLW lawsuit and the UFC lawsuit, I don't think that they're going to be doing stuff like that. Or at least they shouldn't. If they did, they'd be pretty stupid.